Yes, people, welcome back to Red Sky Pods and the post-match analysis. Game's just finished. Leeds United 1, Liverpool 1. Sadio Mane for Liverpool and Llorente for Leeds. So as we're mob-handed, there's 5 of us and there's 4 of us and there's only one Leeds fan. Only right to go straight to the Leeds fan. Thoughts on the game, mate?
Oh, mate, I want to say, I've just seen Leeds have just tweeted. We really don't help ourselves. Full time, Leeds hold Super League size Merseyside Reds to a 1-1 draw. We really don't help ourselves, do we? But
That's funny. That's funny. That Merseyside Reds. I know lots of people that call Man United Manchester Reds because they won't say Man United. But there you go.
But yeah, I think it was a very flat first half from us. We didn't look at the races at all. But then second half, we looked a lot more ourselves. Yeah, I think in the end, pretty happy with that performance. Like I say, the first half was flat, but we started creating chances. Bamford had one off the bar. Roberts had that good save from Alisson. And then we nicked a draw at the end, which I'm pretty happy with, really, overall.
You didn't nick the draw. We nicked the draw, mate. You should have won that. With balanced chances at the end of that game, I don't think if we were sat here having lost 2-1, we'd have too much to complain about. Whilst we did control the game in the first half and we did have chances, you've got to take them. Simple as that. And you found that out as well. So 1-1 is a fair result. Ian, your thoughts on the second half? Because we didn't turn up, did we?
We never. No, it was almost like because we've been that dominant in the first half, we didn't think we need to come out for the second. Yet again, we've been punished for not taking the chances we created in the first half. It seems to be repetitive that we create lots of chances early on in the game and not take them. It's been the story all season. Very, very lucky to come away with a point in that second half. They look like they have looked all season. Leeds look quality in the second half. They've been a breath of fresh air, Leeds, when they've come up. And I'm not just saying that because we're a Leeds fan here. I think Leeds have been a breath of fresh air to the league. And long may it continue for them. But very lucky to get away with a point, I thought, when the whistle went.
For those of you watching, you're wondering why Ian is really cloudy. Ian is coming to you live from the shower. So
commitment.
What's going on there?
A clue.
It's mad. Dave Powell, summarise Liverpool's performance, please, mate. Quick,
I think Ian said it, didn't he? Really, I think first half in control. Possibly should be further ahead. The real killer one for me is actually in the second half when Robertson breaks away. You just want a little bit of composure, and then not so like. I mean, you could hear it if you haven't got any sound on your any crowd noise on when you're watching that game. You can hear it after he's tracked all the way back. That they get a throw in and he lets out an expletive then because he realises what great opportunity it was to put the game to bed. It was just all got a little bit flat second half and probably a little bit predictable, Steve, from where he'd been this season, or certainly the second half of this season.
Yeah, he struggled, didn't we? Dave Cole, did you see the Klopp interview? And if you
missed it. No.
You missed it. Okay, so what did you think? What did you think of Leeds United's shirt before the game?
I wasn't happy, but you know what? You just want to take the. You want to track the Michael with fair play. I just want to say my podcast tonight is sponsored by Win a Lot because I've got a head like an Alsatian. No, but fair play for Leeds. You know what I mean? They're sticking to the guns. Fair play, and it's I don't know, mate. You know what I mean? My group there tonight. There's a lot of downhearted people there. Even on, a lot of Reds are taking a knock there. They're downhearted, but you know what? That team come tonight and they put a shift in. That day tonight was for Kloppo, and that's for me, it was about a little bit of passion which was showed there tonight.
Ian, so now we've qualified for the European Super League. What do you think holds for the rest of the season, mate? Because I don't know how to put that performance into words. You know, are we genuinely all out for fourth place? Is there a little bit of an impasse? We talked about whether this would affect us. Thoughts on whether that the shenanigans of the last 24 hours has had an effect on the team?
You know what? First half, Steve, we looked like we were going for fourth place before. We looked like we wanted to get into the Champions League. We looked like a team that wanted to fight for that fourth or third place and get into the Champions League. I don't know what the rest of the season is going to hold, because I don't know what's going to come from tomorrow. The last 24 hours have been absolutely brutal. They've been brutal mentally for any football fan, especially any football fan involved in them 6 clubs. Because I don't know whether you've seen any of the Gary Neville stuff before they went live, but it was like he was trying to incite hatred towards Liverpool and the fans and the players and the manager. It's got nothing to do with the manager and the players and the fans. It's the owners. It was a bit irresponsible what Gary Neville was saying. So I don't know. I didn't choose to go into the Super League. I still hope there's a way out of it. I'm sure every other Liverpool fan hopes that there's some miracle way out of it. It doesn't look likely. If it gets announced over the next couple of days, I think our season will just piss it out. I think he might throw kids in, whatever. I don't know. But right now, as a fan base, we don't seem very focused on the pitch, which is easy to understand. You know, I mean, up until about half an hour before the game, I wasn't interested in the match tonight. Well, probably about 5 minutes before they came onto the pre-match, I wasn't interested in the show. I wasn't interested in the game state because of what had gone on. I was drained. I mean, I don't know how you guys have felt as Reds, but I feel like the last 24 hours have been emotionally draining for me, because we are mostly invested in the club, and for us as Liverpool fans, and our lives as football fans are going to change forever if this European Super League happens. It's not going to be the same Liverpool, and we're not going to be in the same league. It's going to be a completely different format and a completely different way of competing in football for us. So you've got to think the players have got to be feeling the same, Steve.
Yeah. Just coming to you, Ben. Obviously, the talk of the Super League does affect you because you're in the league where these players will go from. Looking at Leeds' position, another good performance tonight. Another performance showing that they can mix it with the so-called big boys. What's your thoughts on next season? And if this thing goes ahead and those teams are not in there, where realistically can Leeds hope to finish up?
I mean, it's a tough one, really, because, you know, we've spent years out of the Premier League, and the reason we want to get back there is because we want to mix with the big boys like Liverpool, United, Arsenal. But if the supposed top 6 aren't going to be, I don't know why Spurs in there, by the way, but if they're not going to be in the Premier League, then, you know what I mean, it's less incentive for us. We'll be up there with Everton, West Ham, obviously still big clubs, but at the end of the day, the reason the Premier League is such a big league is, you know, the big clubs like United, Liverpool, they're the teams we want to be playing, really. But I think, I do think if those 6 aren't around, then who's to say we can't, you know, give it a good go and be right up the top?
Absolutely. I should really apologise to everyone that Ben did say Arsenal were a big team, but we'll move on quickly. Pretend that didn't happen. Dave Powell, Alisson tonight looked a bit back to his best. You and I have spoken about this before, about confidence breaking the goalkeeper, and I think we were both genuinely concerned about would he come back from the mistakes, would he come back from the errors. Speak to me about it, mate. What did you think?
Yeah, good. Yeah, I mean, he's. I think I said to you before, like when he was at his best, he is as good as you get in one-on-one situations very much like Peter Schmeichel used to be. He stands up for a long time and he makes the attacker make all the decisions about what they're going to try and do. The amount of times that he saves one-on-ones is remarkable, really, in his time at Liverpool.
Yeah.
He's a top goalkeeper. He's a top goalkeeper, and I've got no doubts that what happened with his father and stuff like that it must have affected him. Must have affected him, and
I agree.
You couldn't have blamed him if back then if he just said, season written off, I go back home and that's it. But he didn't. He stuck around. Admirable. He suffered personally through that, both the loss he had and then in his form as well. And he looked tonight like you're absolutely right, Steve. Looked tonight like he's back to his best.
Dave Cole, was it the right decision to sit Salah out tonight?
Yeah, I would say so, to be honest with you. I want to know who, I thought he sparkled a bit tonight. Jota was really lively and he was unlucky with that chance that he nearly put over the bar. I thought he was playing rugby for a minute, but he was really, really lively. I want to know who the debutant was between the sticks. Does it look like Alisson Becker's lad in goal? It looked nothing like Becker, But yeah, no, I would agree. Yeah, Salah, it was maybe right to swap him. It freshens things up. And it keeps them live. It keeps the conversation alive, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, mate. So back to you, Ian. Sadio Mane scores tonight. Did you see anything in Sadio Mane's game that you wanted to see? Does he look like a guy that's improving at all, or are we still seeing him stuttering a bit?
I think he looks like he's lost a yard of pace today. I don't know whether it's an effect of COVID that he had early on in the season, but something just doesn't seem right. There's balls that he can go for in the past 2 or 3 seasons that he just gives up on now. He doesn't seem to be. He's definitely not a guy enjoying his football. That could be because he wants to do things with his body that his body won't let him. There's definitely something not right. I don't know whether it's physical, mental, or what. It was great to see him get a goal because I love Mane. He's been one of the best players we've had over the past 10, 15 years. And people seem to forget that. People forgot about Bobby as well. I don't think it was Mane's best game. It was nice he got a goal, but I think he struggled again. I just hope, depending on what league we're playing next season, he gets a good rest this summer, and maybe we'll see the old Mane back next. Because I think as far as Mane's done this season, to write off now.
Yeah, he's not himself, is he? Ben, just coming to you, I'm back to Leeds. Who's standout performance tonight?
Oh God, it was nice to see. It was nice to see Llorente play. I know he scored a goal, but I was saying to my dad while we were watching the game before he scored, he's been really impressive tonight. His passing range, his defending, he played really well. I think Llorente was probably our best player on the pitch. It was good to see Pablo Hernandez come off the bench. He's worshipped as a Leeds fan. I know he didn't do much tonight, but it'll probably be his last season with us. So it's good to see him get a couple more appearances in the Premier League because he was a different level in the Championship for us. But yeah, tonight I think Llorente was quality. Bamford was a bit inconsistent, but he did have that good effort off the bar, and you can never question Bamford's work rate. Again, Harrison wasn't at his best. Yeah, Roberts barely touched the ball. I think Luke Ayling's always very solid. And one player who I massively hype up is our goalkeeper. I know he made one mistake with his distribution, but Meslier for me, if he can just work on those little mistakes he makes when he passes it out and he gives the ball away, he's going to be a world-class goalkeeper. I really think he will be. He's only 21.
And 21 years of age as well, Steve. He's a good keeper.
That's what I mean.
To be fair, he looks 12.
Honestly, I saw him. I stood at Ellen Road a year back when we first signed him by the corner flag, about 10 yards away from him. I thought, this kid's about 12, isn't he? But he's 6'4", so it doesn't make sense.
It's that one of the kids who's got one of the growing syndrome things, and they end up being 7'5" before they leave school. Is somebody typing? Because I can hear a lot of feedback somewhere.
Nah.
See if it goes away. Someone's typing throughout this. Dave, half-time came at completely the wrong time for us, didn't it? It killed us off, mate.
Yeah, I think so.
You know, you say that's a fair analogy?
Yeah, I think so. It's we should have been further ahead in that's the bottom line, isn't it? And it doesn't matter what level you're playing at. You don't take your chances. It invariably it comes back and bites you on the backside, doesn't it? Especially against a team like Leeds and the way that Bielsa has been playing, they're going to keep going. You know, what was the game I watched earlier in the season? I think maybe they played United. It was about 6-1 Benny at Old Trafford, was it? And you know,
got smashed. Yeah,
and they got absolutely annihilated, and yet they're still going. I mean, maybe 6-2 in the end. They're 6-0 down. They're still trying to score a goal. So if that's the situation in that game, when they've got a chance to cling on to and get something from the game, they're definitely going to keep going, aren't they? So they're. I was at half time. I thought we looked pretty good and we were well worth the 1-0 lead. And then the game's ended up finishing. I feel a bit hollow, to be honest with you. Nothing but admiration for Leeds and really, I think it's just a follow on, as Ian said earlier, a follow on from the last 24 hours, and then tossing off a chance to go into the top four. I think a monkey's what anyone says. I still want to finish up the league table as we can. Doesn't matter what's going on anywhere else.
I think you just alluded to something. The general feeling in the room, with the exception of Ben, is quite flat. That's not just because of the results, guys. That's because we're all kind of sitting here and wondering as to what comes next and what's the next announcement, what's the next thing that happens with this European Super League. And before we go on, guys, there's a ticker tape running along the bottom of the screen at the moment, which is our sponsors for this month, the 12th Man. So get yourself down there, type in Red Sky 15 and you'll get 15% off your orders. You can get retro kits, you can get international kits, you can even get European Super League kits. Get yourself down there, guys, get yourself a bargain. Thanks to them for sponsoring us. Just before we finish, Ben, good luck for the rest of the season, mate. Hope Leeds finish as high up as possible. We are a breath of fresh air. I'm sure I speak on behalf of the lads when it's been a pleasure to have you on, mate, and hopefully we get to do it again if the powers that be then, as they. So thanks for coming on. The rest of you lads, thanks again. I know it's been a bit flat. I think we wanted to win there tonight, didn't we? To kind of gloss over the last 24 hours, but it wasn't to be. It was an enjoyable game to watch. Lots of chances we would think there would be. We just didn't turn up in the second half. So until our next game.
Can I just make a punch, Steve, before we go?
Yeah.
You commented on the fact that I was coming live from the shower. I'm surprised nobody's commented on St. Dave's Halo tonight.
Hey, listen. Perfect. I just want to follow on from what you said before, Ian. I've been trying to do stuff with my body that it used to do for years, and it's, I've got my eye on a lovely little blonde girl, and she's gorgeous. But I just hope I can, come up trumps. You know what I mean?
And that, boys, is on that bombshell.
One bombshell.
Yeah, leave it there. And thanks for coming on.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers, lads.
Boys.
Cheers, guys. Thanks very much.